Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to me sweating already. 'Tis a beautiful day outside, bright, sunshiny, all that jazz, but that does not bode well with my temperature because, as y'all know, or if you don't know then, you know now, my body's, basically my homeostasis is broken, I believe, because my body's ability to literally regulate its temperature, it's just gone. I am always like sweating consistently, but welcome to a Get Ready With Me with a Twist. I was initially going to be doing a video kind of like an in-depth about makeup scalping and stuff like that, or just honestly merchandise scalping in general. We're going to get into a couple different things. And I will later at some point do a whole like deep dive video, but I thought today we could just play with some makeup. Y'all said you like the Get Ready With Me, so I'm going to try to do more of these. And I thought maybe, you know, instead of babbling on like I do about whatever, we would have a specific topic that I would discuss, and that is going to be talking about why I hate and some of the in and outs of makeup scalping and such. So without further ado, let's just get into this. Hopefully y'all can see okay. I'm kind of at a weird whateverness right now. So we might as well start off with what is like the basic, like, you know, definition of makeup scalping. What makeup scalping is, an excellent example would be, say, when Colourpop did the Sailor Moon release and they didn't make a lot of units. We know that. And there were people who would then go in and buy it, and then they saw the demand and they would do things like literally charge over $80 for the two blushes. Trust me, I know, I had them saved on my Mercari. And the horrifying thing is how much they were charging for that, but also the fact that people bought it for that price, whereas now you can get the whole collection on sale for like 76 bucks. And I, in the past, have purchased limited edition makeup for way too much money. Wet and wild moon tears. And so essentially makeup scalping and any kind of scalping is taking advantage of the scarcity for whatever reason, whether it's limited edition or it's something that ended up being really popular. They see it, look at it, and they're like, gonna make me some money on that shiz. And I feel like one of the most frustrating things with that is within doing that, they are actually creating even more scarcity on the market by going in and purchasing these things, which makes it difficult for someone like you and I who are actually interested for the thing just to, you know, have it, because there are a large majority of scalpers and people who sell things for a profit like that, especially a lot of limited edition things, who do it simply for, you know, they're not doing it because they're partial to it or anything like that. They're doing it because they know there is a market and that they can charge an excessive amount of money on said market. So, like I said, the Sailor Moon collection was a pretty good example of it. There are a lot of other examples. I mean, if any of you have been following me, or a lot of you who are obviously makeup enthusiasts, you are somewhat familiar with the frenzy of certain limited edition collections. Or how about when all of an excellent example of one of the awful realizations of scalping is, it used to be, well, I don't know if it used to be, but you know, you were dealing with just like regular everyday people going in and buying this stuff and then marking it up. Well, now we have progressed. I think it was when Jeffree, when the cremated palette was released, and there was this tweet or some kind of something of this like scalping company who was like, don't worry, a couple of our agents got multiples of the palettes, buy them here. And when Jeffree, kudos to him, when he found out about that, he went in and he terminated those particular orders. But that coming out kind of shows this realization that there is this huge market that is taking advantage of and aware of what they're able to do. Like, it's not like an accident walking in and being all like, oh, well, I guess this is a popular thing, I guess I'll sell it now. No, they purposely go in because they know there's going to be a scarcity, they know it's going to sell out, and they know they can sell it for a bajillion dollars. This happened with a lot of Colourpop releases. This happened with the Club Nebula palette by Kaleidos. There were a lot of people, Angelica actually came out and was like, please don't do this, don't buy over, buy it for over $100. We're going to have a restock. stock. Also, just for completely random reference, I'm using the Colourpop Fade Into Hue. I'm still using it to, oh, excuse me, burp squad. Decide if I want to review it. I tried using the green section. That didn't turn out well. Today we're obviously doing the purple. Hopefully it goes well. If not, I do have my regular I Like You A Lot, and it's my pleasure palette. So in case it does go sideways, I've got the purples I can trust. I believe that it's also important to note that this whole notion of scalping isn't new to any kind of industry at all. Y'all know I am a huge Sailor Moon fan. Sailor Moon shiz is so freaking quote-unquote collectible. Y'all know, well, I don't know if you know, in my background, you see those big Sailor Moon dolls. Those are like ball-jointed Pulip dolls, right? They were expensive, they're pricey. They retailed for around, I think depending on it, $200 to $300. So, I mean, that's a lot of money. But obviously, I mean, I didn't buy them when they first came out. And so in the midst of me trying to get a whole Sailor squad up in here, one of the ones I really want is the Dark Lady one. And that one people are selling for like $1,000. And I understand you want to make your money back, but at that point, charging $1,000, you know, you're not just wanting to make your money back. You're like, yeah, there's a bit of scarcity in this. I'll probably sell, and people buy it. I've had so many different of those, like I'll go on Mercari and Poshmark and I'll just have them, you know, living their best life in my likes video, and they sell, and I'm like, all right, you know, because to a certain degree, they know that people are gonna buy it at some point at that price, you know? Like my dad always says, something is only worth as much as someone is willing to pay for it, which is very true of any kind of collectible anything, any sort of like collecting hobby that you're into. So we have that established already. So let's dig a little bit deeper into why I absolutely despise the people that go in here and purposefully purchase these things just for shiz and giggles to sell. Okay, so first issue going on here is the fact that these people going in and buying these just to make a profit, it is depriving the people who are actually attached to whatever it is that's being sold, you know, whether it's makeup or something like that, and they're literally making it not necessarily impossible, but difficult to get there. I mean, you remember when I was trying to get that Sailor Moon, I was so butthurt about that shiz. And part of that is on Colourpop. That is definitely their fault for clearly obviously not ordering enough units to supply the demand. They knew what kind of demand was. After you have a sellout like that, where it sells out in like 5 minutes, you're like, okay, all right, this was really freaking popular. Maybe we should order more than like 12. I ended up just like throwing my hands up and being like, I'll wait, and I waited, and I think I even got one of the blushes like 35% off. So it's like, in some cases, it's good to wait. The problem with limited edition and fancy whatever collections is you never really know. You know, it could be a limited edition collection that's gone, and it's just gone. That's another thing. People bought the Melt Beetlejuice collection and were selling it for like $800, and I'm like, it's already overpriced as it is. We don't need to have none of you coming in here and raising that price, for Pete's sake. So clearly, I absolutely loathe the notion that people are coming in here and making that supply and demand so difficult for the everyday person. Like when I'm trying to get like my Sailor Moon collectibles and stuff like that. For example, there's stuff that I bought, like some pop figurines that I bought just because I like Sailor Moon. I wasn't buying it thinking, oh, this is gonna be worth $3 million in 5 years. Because one of the pop sets that I got, it was at Hot Topic, I think it was like $35, and it's King, Endymion, Neo Queen Serenity, and Small Lady, all in their like fancy garb. And it's $150. People, it's $150. And I'm like, I just bought it because I love Sailor Moon. And that's kind of the way I feel about a lot of things, where it's like, I'm not buying this to make a profit. I'm just buying it because I like it. And when you have these people who are buying it to make a profit, or buying it regardless of any affinity they might have for it, the true people who really just want to purchase this for themselves are losing out. And I hate that. Not just for me, but for any kind of person who's trying to get, you know? Okay, my eyes have been like really, really funky. Y'all would have seen my Snapchat in Virginia. I tried to film like, I think on 3 different days, and every day I was just like, this is awful. My eyelids are just literally rejecting color. But this looks like it looks nice. It's a lot better than the way the green behaved. So maybe there is hope for this palette yet. Quite a lot of y'all recommended this to me. They were like, if you love rainbow and you love color, you need this. And I was like, it's got glitter in it. And I will say, after using the green side, I was not impressed. I was so upset and sad. I started crying. It was a whole situation, but this seems to be going pretty well. That's a pretty good blend, if I do say so myself. So we've got that whole thing going on with, but there were so many different layers to why makeup scalping, and I mean any kind of scalping, is so toxic. Within the makeup industry, one thing that happened, like if we can recall times when people were taking really popular products and obviously we all remember the fiasco of the modern Renaissance. Could not find that shiz anywhere. People were selling this $45 palette for like $110. I mean, they were really just completely procking off of that demand. And one thing that came about as a result of, obviously it existed before, but for me, the modern Renaissance boom, as well as the glow kits boom, is one thing that really brought to light the harsh reality of the makeup counterfeit market. This is a whole level of scary that I don't think a lot of people really realized how relevant and how, you know, how much it actually existed. Because when you think counterfeits, you're like, okay, all right, we're thinking designer handbags, you know, designer clothes, you know, like who's going to counterfeit makeup? Who's going to counterfeit something that goes on your face? And in the end, I mean, the people who do this really don't give a flying whatever about your face and if it falls off because of the stuff that they're putting in these products. So during that modern Renaissance boom, there were so many fakes. There were so many replicas. And like there was this, I remember there was a thing where people were like, oh, well, if you can see the magnets are exposed and are pushing up out of the packaging, it's a fake. Personally, I didn't find that completely reliable. I mean, I got duped. I was so mad because I wanted that palette so bad. The modern Renaissance is what really unleashed my love for red eyeshadow. You all know how much I love the Everlovin' Shiz out of that palette. And so I bought one. I should have known better because it was like, it was a stock photo. Always be wary of purchasing any kind of like makeup from like if you're buying it on Mercari or Poshmark, always check to see if it's a stock photo. If it is a stock photo, 9 times out of 10, they're selling a fake because they don't want to show you what the actual product they have is and what it looks like. I'm actually not unhappy with this. I think this is turning out nicely so far. I'll obviously have to compare when I do review this. I'm going to compare it to the other monochromatics that they have because I have a lot of the monochromatic ones and kind of being like, what's the quality like compared to that, you know? And if you have a bunch of those, is there really any difference in this? Probably not, but you know. Okay, so we've got the influx of fake makeup. All right, so what is the problem with fake makeup? And this whole thing, why this ties into like the makeup scalping whatever, is the simple fact that these are people who are creating they're creating a new scarcity that isn't taken into consideration when batches are made and when how many are put out, you know? So they've got this and they go in and they take this and they're creating the scarcity, which makes people who, you know, would have bought it via, you know, Anastasia or Sephora, it makes them so desperate to seek it elsewhere, you know, kind of a point where it's like, well, there is no other alternative but to buy it here if you really want that product. I don't know if any of you all have watched any kind of like fake, I know there was a documentary on Netflix, but fake makeup is very, very dangerous. There was a channel, well, he's still here, the Pop Looks, Nady, who used to do a lot of those, you know, trying, comparing, you know, AliExpress makeup with the real thing. And he did one of the Anastasia Glow kits. He did a bunch of eyeshadow palettes, and then he stopped doing it because he would get all kinds of nasty reactions to what was in the makeup, you know, and maybe we can think like, oh yeah, you know, it's just the same things. And this is the thing. Counterfeit makeup is unregulated. You know, they don't go through any kind of testing or any sort of safety, you know, it's just kind of put whatever we can in here to make a eyeshadow or to make an eye product or make a makeup product and just sell it. You know, there is no regulations for, you know, FDA and everything like that. No, they just make it, they press whatever they want, make a shadow and put it on the market. So with that comes the kind of, I mean, it's a harsh reality, but there's been stuff discovered in fake eyeshadow incidents. I mean, like rat poison. Things that should go nowhere near your body, let alone your face and your eyes. Very, very sensitive part of the body. And then we're gonna take it, we're gonna put fake makeup on it. I'm actually not mad at this at all. I'm really pleased with this so far. Definitely better with the green. Maybe I'll try the green here in Tennessee because I tried it in Virginia. And for some reason, my skin really likes Tennessee. I don't know what it is, but when I was in Virginia, I was breaking out. I was all kinds of red, came to Tennessee, and my skin was like, okay, I'm cool now. So not entirely sure what all that was about, but back to the scalping. Obviously. Another thing that is just kind of at the base of why this sort of thing is just so awful is that it is truly based on taking advantage of people. And I'm not saying, you know, everyone's all like, oh, you know, I mean, you know, y'all do what you want with your money. I've bought secondhand, limited edition, you know, whatever makeup. I remember there was a while there where I was trying to collect all of the Vice palettes, and I was like, I need the one, I need the two, I need all the ones I've missed. Something else to note is there's a lot of kick up in the pan here, but I'm not noticing a significant amount of fallout when I actually apply it, which is a really nice thing. I do not like the fallout. I'll deal with it, but I don't like it. And so when you have these people who, I mean, there are so many, I understand we all have different morals and ethics and whatever, but I'd like to think that the majority of the people on my channel, it's kind of a do unto others, you know, treat people how you'd like to be treated. And so when you've got these things where, like I said, the supply and demand is very obvious, it's there, you know, people want to buy it, and then like I said, it's one thing because I've sold a lot of things on, you know, Poshmark and Mercari, and some things I have priced a little higher because there is a certain amount of scarcity, and that does call for it being, you know, hard to find, do this, you know. But when it's to the point of you're gauging it to a price point that is so beyond recovering your money, it's like, is it really about recovering your money, or at this point, is it about making the world's biggest profit? Which, once again, there is the hustle. I understand that. But you can hustle without taking advantage of people. That's just my personal opinion. I don't hate the hustle. I hate how some people use the hustle as a means to overgauge prices on the fact that, oh, it's limited edition, it's hard to find. Like when you literally double the price of something, that's when I start having issues. And like I've paid, you know, more money. I mean, I hate to admit all this, but my Sailor Mars pop figure, I paid $500 for that because for some reason they made less of her, and so she was a more rare one, so I had to, you know, I didn't have to, but I did it. I spent my own money. Y'all do whatever you want to do. And it isn't just, the one thing about scalping is it's existed so long in like the PC gaming world. I can't remember which game it was, but they had like these loot boxes or something like that, and people were like mass buying them and doing all kinds of whatever. You know, it's a thing. It's existed. But just because it's a thing doesn't mean just because it's exists means it's an okay or a good thing. Ooh, that's a nice shimmer. That's a nice shimmer. Okay, so far, The purple row is significantly better than the green row. We'll have to, I really need to try that green row again because it's so pretty. But I wanted to do the purple because we all know the darker the shade, the more difficult to formulate. Although Colourpop does really, really, really pissy pastels. And I don't know if pastels are easy to formulate, but Colourpop isn't the best at it. Although this first purple I used was pretty good, I did have to do a significant amount of like building it up though. I don't mind. It blended really, really nice, and I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I'm gonna have to find an excuse to film some more after this. That's really good, if I do say so myself. I'll just give myself a little pat on the back. So, like I said, I have a lot of hobbies that I like and love. There are a lot of hobbies that involve, you know, collecting things. I mean, a good example right now is of doing this makeup scalping is my friend, my best friend, Morgan. She loves the Pokemans. Both her and her husband are obsessed. And they wanted to buy some Pokemon cards, and one of the Logan or the Paul, the whatever, Jake Paul or Logan, one of those two annoying people apparently were like, go out and buy all the Pokemon cards in creation. And now you can't find Pokemon cards. There was actually a dude in Walmart today. I went to Walmart today with my mom, and he found a couple Pokemon cards, and he's on the phone and he's going on them. And I told Mom he's buying those to resell them because there is a shortage right now that you can't find no cons and no Pokemon cards. And if I almost smacked down, I almost wanted to go over there and be like, give those to me. I need to buy those for my best friend because she's going to lose her shizz. But I didn't. He was clearly on the phone and he probably would have fought me for him. So, but you know, it's that type of thing. I mean, I think it takes, people are like, oh, well, it's just a business mentality. I'm like, there's a difference between a business mentality and a mentality where you're just like, I'm going to screw everyone over and not give any kind of regard to, oh, excuse me, burp squad. I mean, not gonna lie, I got up at like freaking 4:30 this morning because my body's like, hey. And I have had like 2 Milos, which is tea, which is caffeinated. I've had a Monster, and I've had one of my yogurt energy caffeine drinks. So yeah, I'm wired for sound. I obviously went and did my eyeliner off camera. I'm actually trying out this one from Wet n Wild here. One of y'all recommended it and sent it to me. And so far it's pretty good. I was able to do this with just the one eyeliner. Usually I have to like use one and then go over with another one. So I'm actually pretty pleased with this so far. And it's only like $5. We'll see how long it lasts. And if you're wondering what I did my eyebrows with today, this is the KVD, Kendo, whatever, this here, Everlasting, probably not even called that anymore. The KVD liquid lipstick in Roxy. And I do have a eyebrow tutorial coming in. I have a really bad, it's a mixture of anxiety and diagnosed OCD. Is I do this thing where when my nails are short, I rub them through my eyebrow until my eyebrow like bleeds and gets scabs and all kinds of, it's weird. It's a thing. It's weird, I know. But the hair, when I do that, the hair goes away. So after these bald spots grow in, I do have a eyebrow tutorial video planned. It is coming. I just want my eyebrows to look some kind of nice when I do that. So, as I was saying, I understand that when it comes to collecting things, there is sort of a, I mean, some things I can understand. Like, I watch a lot of Pawn Stars on History Channel. I've actually been binging that show on Netflix, right? And so I understand if someone comes in with like a Civil War something, it's like, yeah, that's going to be worth some money because historical significance, age, everything like that. But when it comes to something like a collection from Colourpop, I'm like, it's makeup. It's, you know, there isn't anything about it that makes it worth paying that overgauged price. And I've seen, I guess part of why I'm bringing this up right now is recently I have seen so much of it going on, and it's been really frustrating and honestly a little bit disturbing, because when you've got people who are just, you know, passionate makeup enthusiasts, they just want this because they love, you know, the colors and everything like that. And the funny thing is this sort of scalping. It isn't even, in my opinion, personally, allegedly. A lot of the recent things that have been happening with collections being sold out and certain products being hard to get and people selling them online, it's not even like about the makeup anymore. It's gotten to the point where it's about the, you know, like for example, one thing that sold out really quickly, the Hip Dot My Chemical Romance thing, you know, that sold out like absolute bonkers. And it's like, is it really about the makeup and how interesting the color story is or how good the quality is? Or is it about the fact that it's a My Chemical Romance thing and people are gonna really want it? And that's one of the frustrating things, because as much as I love, you know, makeup on a whole, obviously, you know, it's an artistic whatever for me. But whenever it gets taken to the point where it's like not about makeup anymore and it's about what the makeup, you know, the collaboration that it's with, I really hate that, because it's almost like, this is just me, whatever, talking out of my whatever, it almost cheapens it, you know, where it's like, oh yeah, we have this, and the main selling point and the main reason why this is so popular has absolutely nothing to do with the quality, with the color story, with anything like that. It all, desirability has all to do, we're getting a little darker, gotten a little sun. I love how I say a little bit darker and I'm still like white. You know, and the same thing with just like, you know, not just makeup, but with anything. When you take something and you make it this like hard, inaccessible thing that really should be accessible and is accessible if it weren't for these people coming in and swooping in and just like overselling like nobody's business, it gets just a little bit frustrating. And I've dealt with this in many different areas of my life where things are just like so expensive because of rare and scarcity. For a while there, I was really into like designer. I mean, I still love, there's some designers that I absolutely love. Vivienne Westwood, yes. And then to see it really become this thing that's just so normal. Like I said, I've seen it happen so much recently, and y'all have talked about it. We've all whined and complained about, like, you know, we tried to buy it and it sold out in 2 seconds. And another level, I feel like I'm just like ranting now at this point, but another thing that like kind of like peeves me off a little bit about it is not only does this create a false scarcity within the community, which makes people more inclined to purchase it at a really gauged price, is also the fact that every single aspect of this is just another level of driving consumer rates up through the roof. And some of this is on the need to like constantly buy more and have more turnover and have people spend more money than they should or that they have. I know personally, I mean, probably my entire life, I suck. I am awful at managing money. I love to spend money. Y'all know this. But recently, I've been trying to curb that. So now that I've been trying to take like a step back with like the purchasing and the consumerism and everything like that, then when I see it, it just really infuriates me, because this whole excessive level of consuming, like I've been there. I have completely excessively purchased in the past. Has it made me happy? I mean, no. Not that I'm unhappy, but y'all know what I mean. I haven't found my life's fulfillment via purchasing things I don't need with money I don't have. And with these also sold out things, another thing that like, when you have companies who are doing this sort of thing, especially when it comes to like, I mean, I keep ragging on Colourpop because Colourpop is one of the ones that keeps making these like super hyped up collections and is making them, you know, like super limited, because they know they're probably like so happy with the scalpers. You know, Jeffree stopped those whatevers, but you know, when it comes to like base prices and like profit and everything, when you have those people, when they hype up a collection, then you have those people who are taking those things. It's like when Colourpop was all like, someone tweeted and they were all like, trying to get the Colourpop Sailor Moon collection is trying to get BTS tickets. And they're like, yes. And the community is like, no. Because no one likes a company that's cheeky about under manipulating its demographic. You know, it's just one of those things that really frustrates me. I wish we would talk about it more because it's this thing that just really frustrates me. There's no reason behind it. I understand some people want to make a profit. They want to do all kinds of whatevers like that. That's great. Make your profit. Keep on hustling. You keep doing you, boo-boo. But please don't do it at the price of someone who just wants it for themselves, who just wants to enjoy it, you know? And don't do it to the people who are then willing to pay however much. That's the thing that blew my mind. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, list 2 blushes for $80, whatever. And then there are people who are like, no lowballing. It was like the people with the toilet paper. I'm like, stop it. It's just this awful, disgusting side to the community. And I understand it's not everyone, it's not all of us, but it's enough of a prevalent thing to just still make it so frustrating. And all of the things, see, makeup scalping in and of itself, it's like, okay, all right, whatever, that's a terrible thing. But then it perpetuates and kind of sets in motion a whole list of other things that are really bad. So it's not just the scalping, it's what it causes. It's the chain reaction it creates within the community. You know, the false scarcity, taking advantage of people, causing the thriving counterfeit makeup. There are just so many bad things that come as a result of doing this sort of thing to the market. And I don't like it. Does not make me happy inside. Also, just as a random whatever, all the products that I'm using will be listed down below. I'm not like saying them as I use them just because I want to sit here and get on my high horse and whine about, you know, people buying makeup things. Sorry for this video kind of being a mess. I guess maybe I should have planned a little bit more before going into it. I mean, I was just trying to kill like 2 birds with 1 stone, and I guess maybe I shouldn't have. But you know, we're here now. I've been having fun. I hope you all have been having fun. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are just a lot of problematic things within the whole concept of makeup scalping, not just within the beauty community, but I have just been noticing it a lot recently within the community with a lot of the releases, and a lot of companies are like very big into hyping shizz up. And I think that people should take more notice about it. And I think it's something that should be honestly like not... I understand wanting to make money back. I understand wanting to make profit, but I feel like it's one of those things that doesn't get enough attention, doesn't get called out enough, doesn't get, you know, like shamed enough. Because like I said, I do believe there is a difference to like hustling and being a business and getting to the point where you're literally not necessarily scamming, but I mean, clearly you don't have, I feel like the best, you know, the best morals, the best idea in mind. You know, it just sits really wrong with me. And that may just be me. That may be my thing. I was raised very Christian. I think there are honestly quite a lot of dark things that come out of the beauty community. Now, obviously, scalping isn't like, it's not exclusive to the beauty community. It's in all around the place. But I feel like there are some of those things that are really darker and the seedier part of, I mean, honestly, any kind of community, right? But I feel like with the beauty community, there was a lot of just kind of like, oh, hey, everything's great and amazing. Look at this eyeshadow palette. You know, there isn't a huge amount of attention, at least through the mainstream beauty YouTubers who really delve into those darker things. It always has to be all kinds of sunshine and light and everything is amazing. And then you have creators like, you know, Smoky Glow and Abby Williams and like all of those, Lauren May Beauty, you know, who do take a more critical look and to like analyze and criticize some of these shortcomings. And I think, like I said, there are a lot of things that kind of get glossed over. I'm going to attempt to use a Juvia's Place liquid lipstick. I love these, but they are hecking fucking pigmented, and so one line and that's it. You're done. You're just goodbye. So I'm gonna try it. Look at that. That's one little baby swipe. I did my lips off camera because I'm a coward, but here we are, right here. Look at all kinds of burp squad. That's burp squad. Absolutely very pleased with the outcome. I'm excited to try the other rose in that palette, because if I tried this one first, I'd been like, okay, we're all good. I really want to retry the green one, so we'll probably do that on just a random day. But I mean, I feel like this video like started out with really good intentions, and at the end I was just kind of like, everything is bad and everything is awful. And I just, one thing I want to do on my channel, as much as I love makeup, as much as I'm like, oh, pretty makeup and all the whatever, I also want to have critical discussion about those elements within this community and those things that we deal with that aren't all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns and shiz. Because there is a dark side of the beauty community. Ooh, that would be a good, just doing a video, the dark side of the beauty community. You know, and talk about those things that are just like less than desirable, you know, because it's always like, oh, eyeshadow and everything is amazing, you know. I don't want to be negative, I don't want to be gnarly, but I want to be realistic, and I want to be able to criticize and discuss those elements that, you know, I think should be a discussion point. So if you made it this far, leave something, some kind of fancy, leave a purple emoji down below. Thank you to all of you who are the reason why I'm able to do videos like this, because y'all are encouraging and everything like that. So thank you for allowing me to delve into my inner whatevers and be able to, you know, talk about what I want to talk about on my channel. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!